Welcome to the Voices of Young People podcast, brought to you by Springtide Research Institute. In each episode, we hear directly from young people as they respond to our research and share about the issues impacting their lives. As sociologists and researchers, we see a new story unfolding for young people, one that moves beyond traditional institutional boundaries and requires careful attention to the inner and outer lives of emerging generations. At the intersection of being and becoming, it's the Voices of Young People.
Hi, my name is Nabil Tueme, and I'm a sociologist and associate researcher at Springtide. I'm your special guest host for the season 6 of the Voices of Young People podcast, and I'm so honored to be hosting the season because we are specifically listening to stories from Latinx young people as they share their own religious perspectives. This special series is offered alongside the State of Religion in Young People 2021, Navigating Uncertainty, and offers a sneak peek into the research that we at Springtide have been doing alongside Latinx youth and young adults. A note about our terminology in this podcast. Throughout the season, you'll hear us use the terms Latino, Latinx, and Latine interchangeably. These are all terms that have been used to describe people of Latin American descent, though some of the terms are contested. Here at Springtide, we're committed to using the terms that reflect young people's values and the ones that they themselves prefer. In today's episode, we talk to Blanca, who is 20 years old and comes to us from the sunny state of California. I say this for Massachusetts while I'm looking at about 3 to 4 inches of snow, with more to come. Blanca's entire family is Catholic, but she describes herself as spiritual. As you'll hear in this episode, this has caused some tension between Blanca and her family. And that's been pretty tough for Blanca, especially because she feels like other children of immigrants sometimes do, that they owe so much to their family for the sacrifices they've made. But despite these tensions, Blanca is satisfied with her decision. And she talks about how spirituality gives her purpose and has actually been so good for her mental health in many ways. So here is Blanca's story.
Well, hello, my name's Blanca, and I use she, her, ella pronouns. I'm 20 years old. I'm a first-gen Latina student, and I live here in Southern California, and I attend Cal State Fullerton. In my free time, I love to go hiking, and I love taking my 2 dogs, my 2 miniature poodles. I love being out in the wilderness and nature. It just gives me a free headspace. So,
love that. I am such a huge dog person. Awesome. Well, it's so great to meet with you. And really, I'm just gonna go right in here and ask you, are you connected to any particular religion or faith or spiritual system right now?
Currently, I feel like I'm in tune spiritually. I see within myself spiritually. I feel like I've grasped the idea of religion since I was raised as a Catholic. I was raised in the Catholic system, in a Catholic home. And I still currently am. We still hold the values of the Catholic system. And I respect, with all due respect, I do respect the religion and what it stands for and the whole customs and traditions. But in my own upbringing, I found a passion or a connection towards my spirituality, just being connected within myself and in my inner self, and just really finding peace within my own mind space, my own head space, my own emotional, mental, physical health. It's been like a whole spiritual experience.
I love that. So can you tell me a little bit about how you went from being engaged with your family's Catholicism to finding this personal spirituality that's very meaningful to you?
Yes. So being involved in my family's traditions, we're involved in a lot of traditions that carry a lot of that faith, a lot of that religion aspect. So we we celebrate all these milestones in the religion as well, which are involved in our holidays, our traditions, and like I've never broken away from that, because in a way that's what keeps our family together, is that faith of the religion, or of the culture,
Yeah.
or the culture which is embedded with the religion. But I found my own personal spiritual in tuneness within myself. I like to go. I do like to go out for a walk, like a hike, a walk. I like to get out in nature and breathe in the moments, but breathe outside. I don't like to be closed in like a structured facility, like let's say a building. Like usually people go to the church, to find an awakening, to find an abundance of their own inner self, or to get an answer. Usually for me, for clarity, I love to be outside. I like to go and be in tune with nature and just breathe the air, feel the ground, and be grounded. That's the way I could catch my breath and catch myself, realize myself, see myself, and see a clear path of the day. Especially the tendency with religion too is to find clarity and to find an answer, or to get hope. And I do that through nature, being outside, and just being. I like to bring in meditation as well. Being outdoors, meditating outdoors, just breathing in the air and living in the moment, and looking at the now, and opening my mind, and having that time to myself to realize the things that have, being grateful for the things that have come my way. And especially within that day, it can be difficult, because in a way, within regards to your own family, if your family is respectful of your own decisions, then it is easy. But if obviously there's some sort of retaliation, or some sort of disagreements in your own beliefs in regards to your own family, like some family members would not like to see you be odd and go into your own spiritual awakening, or your other, why are you doing that for? We need to focus on this, our religion. There's no other than this. So it is a bit uncomfortable, coming to your own realization, and then facing kind of a backlash from your own family, and them seeing, because that's all we know. And sometimes I feel like it could be with guilt. You feel guilty doing this. I tie in with that, like my own self-care, my own realization with spirituality, or just my own mindset or mindfulness. I feel like I'm taking away from my family, or if I'm being too good, or I feel like I'm taking advantage of them and their life, or their personal perspectives, like if I'm pulling away from them. And I wouldn't want to feel that way. And sometimes I do, which thankfully my family hasn't presented that at all to me, but there's still that inner critic of mine that's telling me you're doing something bad, or you should always put your family first.
Just a quick break to thank the donors who make this podcast possible. Springtide Research Institute is supported by donors who believe in the critical research and insight-generating work we do on behalf of young people. You too can help sustain the work of Springtide, so that resources like this podcast series can be made alongside our research reports. Your one-time and ongoing gifts allow us to continue our mission to equip those who care about young people to care better. Visit springtideresearch.org today, where you can make your own tax-deductible donation with a variety of giving options. Now, back to the episode. Why is your spirituality important to you, Blanca?
It's important to me because I'm able to find something for myself, which I was not able to find in the Catholic religion. I'm able to move forward and learn as I go. And I believe being spiritually in tune with myself and continuing to understand how to be grounded and learning how to clear my mind and being mindful and having that gratitude. I'm learning every day to fulfill a void within myself that was not filled with the religion of Catholicism.
What void is that?
The void is, I believe it's peace. It's the void is peace and understanding. My spirituality helps me fight and conquer those days where you're having a bad day. You can't even wake up in a good mood. You're just very dull and groggy and almost depressed because you don't have hope, or you don't have faith to move you. Some sort of burning inside of you to keep you going. So in a way, I use that spirituality to push me and to get me in tune within myself so I can overcome the bad mental day that I'm having. And it's a realization or a conversation with myself. Usually my spirituality or my practice that I do is just even giving a day for myself, or giving time to myself to speak about the things that are unspoken. And what I mean about the things that I talk about the things that I keep behind my head or that I keep locked inside because I don't want them exposed, or I'm too afraid, nervous, or scared to get them out. And I feel like I'm gonna again guilt or feel guilty of exposing that to my family and saying I'm having a bad day.
Yeah.
I need some help.
So you say on those days, like, you talk. Who do you talk to?
Usually I talk to myself. A fun fact, I like to talk to myself on a voice memo. I like to let out all the ugly. Obviously, I'll say what I have to say on my chest. The things that mostly it's a lot of guilt why I'm feeling that way. Like why I'm having a bad day is because I couldn't get this done, or I couldn't do this. I couldn't help out this. And a lot of it's like people pleasing. Like I wasn't able to help out with my mom with this, or I wasn't able to help out my family. I'm a bad person because I couldn't do this. And my own duties, I couldn't get my own tasks done, but I also couldn't get my own family's issues done. I wasn't able to solve the problem. So a lot of that is guilt. And
so what about that is spiritual? Because, some people might be like, yeah, I talk to myself, but it has nothing to do with spirituality.
Yes, a lot. What is spiritual about that for me is obviously having that moment to speak on that voice memo, but also having the moment to breathe and meditate and speak to my inner self and get in a clear mindset and closing my eyes and just breathing and having meditation to soothe my mind and having those minutes to breathe and learn to live in my moment and forget about all the things that had just happened, to clear my mind and to pinpoint myself and just learn to accept what has just happened. Just accept the moment and don't look back and just try to look forward. Accept what had happened and try to move on, and do move on. Accept that. And so that's mostly what I've learned to do, is just to accept the moment, and meditating has helped me ground that and implement that accepting that moment, because I like to actually like sit in my room on the floor so I feel grounded, touching the ground. And I like to breathe and have my moments where I'm in tune with myself and I accept what had just happened. Like I'm just accepting it. and it's okay, and I can get up from this. It's not the end of the world. It's not gonna stop me.
Do you think if your family knew how positively these spiritual practices impacted you, they would be more supportive of your spirituality and your departure from the Catholic faith?
I think they would. Definitely, they would be very accepting and finally have an understanding. They would feel comfortable and finally accept it because now they have an answer, and now they're able to see the effects of how I'm feeling now because I'm doing this. Now that I feel comfortable and I feel rejuvenated, a lot of when I do my spiritual, practice or my own meditation, you may say, I just feel rejuvenated. I feel better than I am now. I feel like a new me.
I love it. What advice would you give to adults who get approached by, young people in their lives and say, hey, I want to talk to you about something that's important to me? What advice would you give to those adults for being supportive in that moment?
Don't say no, and don't look away. Don't neglect their words. Always have an open mind. At first, you might be a bit upset, maybe a bit angry and confused, and maybe sad or scared, or might be feeling a lot of emotions. But don't turn away just yet. Just give it some time and try to understand, even in the moment of the conversation. Every step counts, whether it's big or small, and with different challenges that most people are facing right now. This is a big step towards someone's individuality, their identity, and you have to try to take it with grace and gratitude and mindfulness of your own feelings, but as well as their feelings. Always take their feelings in consideration, because their feelings will have an effect on your feelings. If you both, or if you feel a different in regards to their own identity, they will feel different against themselves. At the end, they're gonna feel different about themselves and start hating the person who they are. So for a parent or an adult trying to accept this, they have to learn to try to ease into it and learn to understand, learn to accept, and learn to be open-minded and not so much angry or confused, because everyone gets angry and confused. But in that moment, we have to try to comfort them and say it's okay. It is okay. It's okay. It's not banishment. It's not a horrible sentence to anything. It's okay to be different. It's okay. I understand, or I will learn to understand.
Oh, I love that. Well, what a wonderful way to end this conversation, Blanca. I so appreciate you opening up and sharing your experiences with me today.
Thank you so much.
Visit springtideresearch.org to hear more voices of young people and to download our latest report, The State of Religion in Young People 2021, Navigating Uncertainty. Thanks to a very generous donation, the digital version of this report is free to download. Springtide Research Institute is supported by donors who believe in the critical research and insight-generating work we do on behalf of young people. Make your own tax-deductible donation with a variety of giving options on our website today. Today's show was produced by Nabil Tweme, Marta Abuaji, and TJ Birnbaum, with original music by high school student Christian Unthank. Special thanks to the 5 guests featured in Season 6, Latinx Voices with the State of Religion in Young People 2021, and to all the young people whose perspectives and insights make our research possible. Follow us on social media at We Are Springtide and interact with a variety of resources connected to the 2021 report with the hashtag Religion and Young People 2021. Thanks for listening.